Are you a NEET aspirant? If yes, then you may be having a question in your mind how to use NCERT books for your NEET preparation. So today I'm going to talk about some productive tips that will really help you to utilize your NCERT books for your NEET preparation. So hey friends, this is Riya Khilwani from Biotechnica. So before proceeding with this video, I would like to stay tuned till the last part of this video so that you can get a free downloads at the end and get benefited. So with no more delay, let's proceed with the video. So the first tip that you should always think of starting with NCERT is understanding concepts and fundamentals. So what do you understand by concepts and fundamentals? It is nothing just basics. That means firstly you have to start with your basics, because it is not like you are reading your class 10th and 12th exam books, but you are preparing for medical entrance exams. So if you are doing so, you have to clear your basics first. So here you should always read your NCERT thoroughly. Thoroughly means line by line and word by word. All the text, illustration that are there, you should be thorough about. Because many a times question you will get from the diagrams that are listed below the text. So you should always be learning about the text, diagrams, legend that are below the diagram, as well as summary that is there in the chapter. Because when you open the NCERT books, you will find the summary of some scientist like Dr. C.V. Raman. So sometimes questions from this scientist biography it is asked. And this summary, it is not only related to the biography, but it also has some concepts related to that subject or chapter. So it's better to read the text, illustration, legend, summary, and at last you should always exercise questions that are there at the last of the chapter. And once you are done with it, make sure that you have completed all text, you have practiced question, you have done everything that is related to that particular topic. So the tip number 2 here is pursue word by word. Read each sentence carefully and get its significance, because in NCERT you will find just a single sentence, but you will get questions from there. But if you will refer some reference books for this NCERT book, you will find these lines have a significant meaning, and the questions from these lines come directly in NEET exams. So you should be careful about what you are reading. So read line by line, and if possible, try to refer to some reference books for NEET, which has many meaning, or you can also get the questions from that topic. So if you will find in NCERT, you can directly get the questions from that topic, because NEET, it is known for NCERT. You can directly get questions that are asked from NCERT books itself. So third tip is refer diagrams for better understanding, because many a times you can get a question on diagram. So many students, they just read the text and they skip the diagram just for the sake, like these lines are only important, but you will find the legend that is there in the diagram. This is also important, because questions are asked from this caption also. So you should always prepare for these diagrams, because it is directly asked in NEET. So you can just see here the diagram of cell cycle, how it is executed, like how many phases are there. It proceeds with the G1 phase, and then S phase comes, which is responsible for DNA synthesis. G2 phase, and then the mitotic phase comes, which is the division phase. And here it has 4 phases. So you can see how simple it is. So if you can read and study with the help of diagram, things become simpler. So you should always prepare diagrams that is directly asked in NEET. You should not miss the legend that is below the diagram, because this legend is itself explanatory for the diagram that is given here. So what it is explaining here, a diagrammatic view of cell cycle indicating formation of 2 cells from 1 cell. So it is indicating how cell division is taking place. What are the phases of cell division? And if you want to make simple your study, you can just mention what all things that are taking place here. Like here, DNA synthesis happens. So you can just mention for your reference like DNA synthesis. What is G1? It is a preparatory phase for what? for S phase. Again, G2 is a gap phase. Gap phase 2, that is again a preparatory phase for the mitotic phase. So here you can learn like this. In the diagram itself, you mention important points and you can learn. Also, do not overlook the illustration. If you are overlooking it, it will not help you to understand the principles better. So here it is making it very simple and easy for you. Also, you will always find supplementary material at the end of the book. So what are these supplementary material? So it always contains the extra information or content from the topics of a particular subject. So always try, once you will complete your syllabus, so always try to refer to this supplementary material, because it will provide you extra information and you may expect a question from this part too. So what is tip number 4? Jot down important information. Now what important information? Many a times you come across the previous year questions, like previous year questions may they are asking something, but that is not there in the NCERT. Sometimes you can expect extra questions that is beyond the NCERT. So what you can do is, just you may have a blank spaces in NCERT book, like one side it is written and one side you have blank spaces. So try to write down everything important that is related to that. So while you are studying, try to highlight noteworthy points, that are important points. Now what is the best strategy to do this? Firstly, when you are starting with your NCERT, so first start reading with the NCERT. Here read the chapters. Once you have read all the chapters, solve PYQs that is related to it. And now self-analyze yourself. Score yourself and rate yourself. How much you are scoring in this part. So mark the topic that you are weak in. So let's suppose if you have scored less marks in some part. Part A you have scored less marks, and part B you have scored okay marks, and part C you are scoring well, good marks. So what you have to do, you have to just mark the topic A and B because you are scoring less here. So when you are scoring less, highlight the important point, what you have missed for the first time. Now when you are reading it for the second time, go through the importance points that you have highlighted for the exam purpose, and also read those topics in which you were scoring less. So it is a best strategy. Always try to divide the reading into 1, 2 or 3 parts. Like here I have divided into 2 parts. First part, you can just read chapters, solve PYQs and self-analyze yourself. And once you have self-analyzed yourself, now it's a time to read and recall those points only in which you were less scoring. So make selective notes. At the last, always try to make concise and precise note. Do not make big notes, because this will not help you to revise at the day of the exam. So always make selective notes. This will help you stay focused on the most important topics. So study from examiner's perspective, because if you are doing so, it will be very helpful for you to stay tuned with what all questions will be asked from the exam, from the examiner's point of view or in the exam, because it will help you to match the frequency with the exam setter. So what all you have to do, always progress from a lower topic to a greater level of difficulty. So first start with the easy topics and then proceed to a higher difficulty level topics. So if you are doing so, it will always keep your confidence at par. So do like this, first read the simple topics, and once you are doing with this, always proceed to the difficult topics. Try to read NCERT textbook from an educator's point of view, because if you are doing so, it will help you in becoming more tuned in the frequency of question setters. Now, what is the third tip under study from examiner's perspective? It is always try to study. Now, once you are studying, always try to put a question in front of that line. What topic you are studying, why you are studying this topic, how to study this topic, what to study in this topic, when to study, is it important or not, and from where it has to be studied. So if I am talking about NEET, so you should be very clear that you should always study all the topics from NCERT itself. Now, sixth tip over here is exercise NCERT based MCQs. So it is not important that you are reading only NCERT, but it is equally important that you are also practicing MCQs that are related to that particular topic. So what you have to do here, revise and recall all of the NCERT materials. Now, what do you mean by NCERT materials? It includes NCERT textbooks, supplementary material, if you are referring some NCERT books, and also handbook of NCERT, that is NCERT lab manual. So revise and recall what you have learned in the previous days. Now, once you have learned, now it's a time to take a mock test. It will give you a clear understanding of the of how you have prepared and what you are going to attempt in exam. So it will give you a clear analysis of yourself. And once you are done with it, simultaneously try to practice previous year questions. So it will give you a clear understanding of the difficulty levels, easiness, and also the pattern of questions that are asked in exams. So always try to refer to some reference books for NCERT, because questions from each line, diagram, paragraph, table, that is there in the NEET exam. So read and revise NCERT manual, that is lab manual. So what is this lab manual? It is the NCERT handbook that is there for all the 3 subjects. What are the 3 subjects that are asked in NEET exam? It is physics, chemistry, and biology. So what does it contain? It has all the content on demanding topics of NEET. Now, what is the demanding topics? Some important topics, some experimental topics, like in case of photosynthesis, if biology we consider. So photosynthesis, how the experimental experiments on photosynthesis can be conducted and what can be referred from this, what the inference can be drawn from it. So it has theoretical explanation. In addition to it, it also has practical and experimental concept related to a subject. So always try to read NCERT first. And once you are done with your NCERT, now it's a time to refer to some reference books that will provide you the help how to understand each line and word of NCERT. And once you are done with this reference books also, go ahead with NCERT manual book. Now it's a time to understand the experimental concepts in biology as well as physics and chemistry. So you should always read NCERT lab manual. It will be able to attempt every question in exam. Now let's coming to the productive tips that will help you to understand each and every subject that is there in the NEET exams. So firstly, we'll study how to learn and read NCERT biology for NEET exam. So here, what you can do, you can just master your NCERT first, because NCERT for biology exclusively, it is known as the Bible of the exam, Bible for biology. So you should always focus on NCERT first. Once you are done with your NCERT, if you want, you can refer some other materials also, but focus first NCERT and master it. Now, if you have other coaching materials, you can refer it to. Like if you are completely involved in some coaching, so again you have to first refer with your NCERT and go beyond then for this coaching material. So if you find the chapters that are very difficult and deep, now it's a time to dedicate extra study hours, because some topics you will find easy, some are moderate and some are difficult. So for finding some difficult topic, always try to dedicate some extra hours. So how you can do this? You can just maintain and prepare a study plan. So once you are preparing a study plan, you will find that you can extrapolate it accordingly. Like study hours for easy topics, you can just split the syllabus into 3. Like you can do like this: easy part and what is moderate and what is difficult topics. And how you can just divide the study hours. And under difficult topics, always try to give more study hours, because it needs a deep understanding of a subject. So dedicate more study hours always for a difficult topic. Chapters such as anatomy and for morphology of plant, biodiversity, and many more things in which remembering is needed. So here memorizing fact is very important. So again, try to maintain a mnemonics, flashcards for it so that you can do it well before the day of exam. So at last, if you are done with this, revise and recall all the important points because it will only help you in remembering all the facts. Now, what is a tip to study chemistry? So under chemistry, if you see, you have three parts. First part is physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and organic chemistry. So now let us understand how you can deal with topic or part one by one. So firstly, we'll understand how to deal with inorganic chemistry. So if you see inorganic chemistry, it deals with elements and molecules. So what you are going to do here, under inorganic chemistry, every word and text is important. When I'm saying every word and text is important, it means I'm signifying NCERT. So here also, you have to study NCERT first. And once you are done with your NCERT, here what you have to do, you have to learn about what is the increasing and decreasing profile of atomic size. What is lattice energy, ionization energy, what is electron affinity, electronegativity. In सबका you have to study the increasing and decreasing profile, that is across the period and also down the group. So you always need to study across the period and down the group, because if you are doing so, then only you will be able to make the correct order of all these electron affinity, shielding effect, as well as ionization energy and so on. Also, you should always focus on the characteristics features of 4 block elements. Now, what are these 4 block elements? It is S, P, D and F. So always try to understand and focus on the characteristic features of these 4 block elements. And also there are some other properties that are related to these features, these blocks. So always learn this also. Now coming to organic part. So what do you mean by organic part? What you all have to study? It mainly requires a thorough and deep understanding of a subject. So well study this part. So firstly, try to focus on NCERT, because if you're focusing some other reference books for this and you're not reading your NCERT, that means you're not clearing your basics, you're not strengthening your skills. Firstly, you should always focus on NCERT, because this part, you know, it is like you may expect some difficult questions in exam. So firstly, it is very important to clear your basic first. And how you can clear your basic? It is only through NCERT. So refer NCERT for this organic part. What you have to do? You have to make a thorough understanding and provide extra reading for this. All you have to do here is learn all the reactions, how their mechanism is happening, like how Wundt's reaction is happening. What is the difference between Wundt's and Wurtz-Fittig reaction? Like this you can understand how the mechanisms between electrophilic substitution, nucleophilic reaction is happening. So all these mechanisms you should need to learn, because you may get a question from out of the following, which one of the following is an electrophile, nucleophile. Like this you should know about the mechanisms of reactions. Also, practice reactions. Now coming to general organic chemistry, that is GOC. Here you should revise and recall properly. So always try to study NCERT for it, because if you are doing so, you may be able to learn the difficult topic for GOC, because GOC, it is very very vast and it has a detailed concept. So to understand those concepts, it is very necessary to read NCERT first. So if you will read, it will build your foundations for your organic part as well as reactions. Now, what is physical chemistry? So physical chemistry, again, NCERT is the main thing. Read NCERT first. Here you can expect numerical part too. So how you are going to do this? Physical chemistry, just read about the NCERT and practice the formula that is there. If you are practicing the formula there, that means you are able to make the numerical that is asked in the exam. Like you can expect a question from thermodynamics, electrochemistry, ionic equilibrium. There are many hot topics from which questions can be asked. The most important topic for physical chemistry is electrochemistry, ionic equilibrium, chemical equilibrium, bonding, as well as thermodynamics. So focus on these topics first. Firstly, focus on important topics, practice numericals, practice formula related to it, and always try to maintain a register for the formula, because if you are doing so, it will be able to have a glance at the day before the exam. So it will be able to recall all those things that you have learned in your previous days. So implement your knowledge by exercising question. Try to figure each and every reactions in chemistry. So try to solve NCERT objective books so as to know the mechanism of any reactions, because you may expect more tough questions from GOC part. Now let's coming to physics. What are the tips that you need to have for physics? How you can study your physics from NCERT? So for physics, firstly, you should clear your conceptuals. You should always clear your basics and fundamentals for it, because only remembering formula will not be able to clear and get a hold of derivations, because in physics you will always find derivations for each and every formula, and you may also expect a question from this. So if you're just remembering the formula in physics, it is not going to help you. So here you should also need to learn about the derivation, but there are some derivations that you need not to focus. So do not stick to it, do not mug up, it's not at all necessary. So only revise and recall and practice those derivations that are actually needed in terms of NEET point of view. So first read your NCERT physics, get a clear understanding of the concepts and strengthen your basics. So always try to maintain a register of formula here. Note down important points that all you have learned. It will help you for your revision. Now practice last 10-year previous year questions. Why I'm focusing on practicing more? Because physics, it is totally dealt with numericals. So if you're not practicing PYQs, you will not able to get a clear understanding of the numerical and the pattern it is asked. So always it is better to practice the numerical. And how you can practice this numerical? It is totally on the basis of previous year questions. So start solving with easy questions and then gradually go up to higher questions, because if you are doing so, it will maintain your confidence level. Because what will happen if you will start with difficult topic? So if you're not getting that answer, you will get demoralized, and this is not the way. Firstly, you have to boost your confidence. So how you can do it? You can just start with simple question and then proceed to higher level of questions. So now many of you may be thinking, like NEET 2022 exam that is going to be happened in July if no delays there. So will it be completely based on NCERT? Is it true? It is based on NCERT only? So yes. So if you analyze the last previous year questions for 3 years only, so you will get to know, like in biology, if we talk about in 2019, there was a single question that was out from the syllabus of NCERT. Single question was asked, and in 2021, the questions that were asked that were totally related to NCERT. No other question was asked that was out from NCERT, and so is the case of 2021. So if we see the last 3 years trend, we can feel like and we can prophesy that NCERT will be the absolute source for these questions in the upcoming NEET exam. So seeing that trend that is followed for the last 3 years, that is 2019, 20 and 21, we can just state that NCERT will be the source for the upcoming NEET exam. So you can just prepare your NCERT for biology, chemistry and physics, and what all tips I have shared, just proceed with it. So firstly, focus on your NCERT, and it is absolutely needed for biology, because biology you have 2 sections, botany and zoology. And if you see the total marks distribution, half part you can say it for physics and chemistry, and half marks distribution is total together for botany and zoology. So always practice your NCERT first, because if you are doing so, there are high chances that you can get 90 or more than 90 percentile, and you can get your dream. And what is your dream? Your dream is to get a medical college, that is government medical college. So what is the final note for today? So NCERT books are the Bible for NEET. So Always read it cover to cover. That means word to word. Every word, every line, every diagram, every legend, every summary, every exercise, every PYQs, everything is important in NCERT. Read the chapters as the final exam is tomorrow. So just read as you are going to attempt the exam tomorrow. So go over the test point again. So convince yourself for this and never stop. So NCERTs are not just extremely significant, but they are absolutely needed for the NEET exam purpose. So you're not going to miss this. Do not overlook NCERT, because if you are trying to ignore this, you will not going to make it for NEET exam. So practice plays an important role. So always try to understand topics. Once you are starting with the topic, always try to make what to read, how to interpret things, and how to attempt question in an exams. So if you are proceeding with this way, it will be very easy and helpful for you to clear your exam and get your goal. So never stop learning, because life never stop teaching. So never stop, go up and work hard. So what is the conclusion for today? So always learn from your mistakes. Learn from your incidents, because incidents are best remembrance. Don't make useless reactions on your mistakes. Don't neglect anything. Work hard. Wish you all the best. So are you ready for the surprise? If yes, so fill this form below to get the complete list of important topics and PDF on how to get the full marks in NEET. So if you want to score full marks in NEET, if you want to know what are the important topics for NEET, how to utilize that, what are the PDFs, what is the study material. So yes, you are welcome. You can fill this form below, visit the link and download everything and fill the form below to get benefited. So thank you everyone for watching this session. If you like the session, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Also share to your friends and colleagues, so they should also know the preparation strategy and productive tips on how to better utilize the NCERT for their preparation. So thank you once again for your time and patience. Have a nice day.